Have I ever killed a run because I've had to pee really bad? No, but I've been in immense pain at the end of runs because of it. But I don't think I've ever killed one because of, like, a bathroom run. I've never killed a run that wasn't already dead due to, a bathroom emergency, I think. Yo, Spire fan, thanks for the good luck. And even if I had killed a run due to like a bathroom emergency, that shit just happens, man. And that's just an unfortunate thing about speedrunning. Sometimes you will be screwed over by IRL. Also, what's up, Hangman? Bread. What's up, Samuel? Whoa! Thanks for the good luck. Gamble bread. Oh! Let's go. The certified bread moment right there. Did I see any of the YTP you posted? I don't think so. Also, what's up, zombie? House 4. It's a game. I mean, I haven't gotten pretty far into attempts yet, so, you know. I wish I didn't have to break that wall. Bro, for real? Yo, Kara. Thanks for the good luck. Yeah, Nico, thanks for the good luck. You're doing nothing in this hospital room? Why are you in a hospital room? Oh, so that's my favorite hobby, man. You know, sometimes when I have free time on the weekend, I just go to the hospital room. I need to time that better. But I should be able to squeeze through both of those. Riko hobby shaming. I'm stating a fact. I mean, if zombies into hanging out in hospital rooms, it might confuse me, but you know, I don't judge. Just watching one of the people we take care of. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Well, I hope they recover. Well, obviously, I hope they have a fast recovery. Zombies in a yo, fucking like actual zombies in a hospital room though. Let's fucking go. Yo, Ted, thanks for the good luck. By the way, if you guys missed it from the beginning of the stream, I added a bread FFZ emote. It's called bread tag. Hello, Hangman. Bread tag. Oh shit, the Tet. It's the Tet collector. The PAL Crashed 1 legend. How am I doing? I'm doing pretty well, aside from the fact that I just fucked that bonus. Although apparently in my PB I also fucked the bonus. Or just this level in general. Didn't sit here 1.5 days, you get out early tomorrow. That's good. Bread. When you die in the bonus and still save time. Oh man, you got it, man. Holy shit. Everything's fine. Got any games that suggest you gave up War Thunder and I have a jet-shaped hole in your heart? What kind of games are we looking at? My go-to suggestion is always A Hat in Time. What is my cat doing? Coco, what are you doing? Multiplayer or anything not tactical RPG. If you want to hate yourself by playing online, might I suggest Super Smash Bros. Ultimate? I don't play a lot of multiplayer games, actually. Like, aside from Smash, CTRNF is the most multiplayer I've done in the past, like, 5 years. CTRNF Online is a mood. CTRNF is online, or CTRNF Online is fun when you actually get to the online part. Dude, what the fuck? Like, where are my inputs? I'm very confused. My grandmother, but she's hopelessly confused. Yo, thanks, man. Thanks. Idiot. What is that? You forgot your mayonnaise. Play online with your friends in CTRNF. Facts. I just need more friends that have NF. Or if I play duos with you, that sounds like a fucking death sentence. Like, 1v1 Ultimate is at least serviceable as long as both players have a LAN cable. Doubles in Ultimate Online just sounds like hell. Is the online still active for NF? Yeah. It's just Grand Prix are done. Yo, what's up, Violin? Yeah, Rycock's eyes. Thanks for that one, text-to-speech. Dude, I keep like moving my arm to like crack my knuckles, and then that's when like the fucking soreness of the arm kicks in. Like I do this, I'm just like, oh. NF Online doesn't work on PS5. It works with limitations. Like, from what I've gathered, as long as you turn on like the cutscenes at the beginning of every race, like you don't have it skip the race intro cutscenes, it works, and then even sometimes it doesn't work. Also, if everybody's playing on PS5, then it theoretically works, but Lamau. Okay, the fucking cutscenes at the beginning of the races are sick. I love that shit. I hate when people skip it. It gives me life. Yo, Violin, you gotta get the KH1 PS2 record for that authentic cutscene experience. Turn the cutscenes off. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Is like, to make it work on PS5, you have to turn them on. Which is stupid, but it's the situation we're in. Hate when people don't skip because you already have to wait for the load. Don't make. Yeah, I mean that's the other thing is that realistically someone waits on it anyway. So like, you're fucking sitting there anyway. So what's the difference? Yeah, I wouldn't want to run KH2 on PS or KH1 on PS2. That just seems awful. I just love how in vanilla KH1 FM, fucking, you can skip cutscenes after you viewed them once. Like, alright, man. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. It's fine. Isn't KH1 on PC now? It is. The entire series is on PC. Now, does the entire series work on PC? I've never heard of Bug Fables. Everything works perfectly. Nothing is wrong. The most popular game in the series very much doesn't have structural issues that cause crashing frequently. That's not a thing. Are the cutscenes longer in F than they are in OG? Yeah, in OG, all they show you is just like, you know, it pans out on the 8 racers, but in NF it shows you like, it's like a Mario Kart cutscene where it shows you like snippets of the track, which I think is cool as shit. Epic's asking for crash reports to hope they'll have a patching. God, I hope so. Like, I think part of me is intentionally holding off on playing the games on PC because I know the crashes on KH2. Even though KH1 is fine, so I could start a KH1 playthrough. I'm just, like, waiting anyway. Granted, I think I'm only going to play KH1, KH2, and maybe KH3. I'm not going to do any of the in-betweens. I can't be fucked playing Birth by Sleep or Dream Drop Distance again. Play Bug Fables if you hate modern Paper Mario and want the series to go back to its roots. Isn't that like literally everybody? Like, I don't think I've met anybody who's like a Paper Mario fan that likes the direction that Paper Mario has gone.
Prepare for a beating, Bandicoot.
Alice World sort of sucks as a first world. I feel like when I was younger, Wonderland was really confusing, and nowadays I don't mind it as much, but that might be because I already know how to do it. The biggest thing about KH1 is it's less, I don't want to say hand-holdy as like later games, because I don't really think KH2 comes off as a hand-holdy game. But KH2 tells you what you're supposed to do. KH1 hints at what you're supposed to do. Yeah, KH1 is extremely non-linear, which is one of my favorite things about it. I love that KH1 is non-linear. Like, the linearity and like tunnel-like design of KH2 is one of my few issues with KH2. Like, it's one of the small details that puts KH1 over KH2 for me. Yeah, I mean, I honestly kind of feel bad for Paper Mario fans because they've been like saying for years, like, please just give us back the original formula, and Nintendo was like, nah, look at this gimmick. How much is the KH games on PS4? I think the 1.5, 2.5 collection is like $60, unless it's gone down. The online price. Oh wow, that's cheap as fuck. What the shit? Wow, we did get ripped off on PC. What the fuck? Holy shit. That shit is like $100+ for everything on PC. Like, are you serious? That's so horrible. Why the fuck did I buy this shit on PC? I know I did, because I wanted PC rando. I wanted PC rando, and then I was told that KH3 is like kind of fucking lit on PC, so I caved and bought it, even though I said I wouldn't. I was like, man, I don't care enough about KH3 to buy it on PC, and then everybody was like, oh, KH3 PC port's really good. It was like, you know, it's probably got better loads. Actually, no, how are KH3's loads on PS5? Like, are they significantly better? KH3 has a Thomas the Tank Engine. Definitely worth. Also, the whole like modding to play as like characters you're not supposed to play as, like you playing as like Riko or like Kairi or whatever. That's like that sells KH3 on PC for me. Like modding is generally a good selling point. They're better, but it's not significant. That's sad because KH3's loads were kind of fucking long. At least I felt they were. There's a playable Ventus Lee and Xion. Oh shit. That's that good shit right there. Playable Kairi mod so I can pretend she was more useful in KH3. Hashtag justice for Kairi. I don't know. I'm definitely like more a console gamer than a PC gamer. But I would say at this point, like even now, I relent that PC is generally like the best option. Like I've been saying that I feel like Crash 4 is at its best on PS5. Partly because that's the version with the most consistent frame rate and the fastest loads. But also, like, now that I'm playing this game uncapped instead of, like, forcing it on 60, it feels just as responsive, if not more so, than the PS5 version. So now I'm questioning whether or not I think the PS5 version is better than this. If anything, they're, like, near identical. Well, they are near identical. Casually. There's also a scaling mod for base KH3, which adds proper scaling values to every fight so that level 1 doesn't suck ass. Oh, sick. That's great, because, like, from what I've gathered, level 1 is only, like, not shit in KH2 or something. Okay, no, actually, I feel like this was mentioned in your stream, Violin, but I was, like, either, like, tabbed out or I was, like, asleep or trying to sleep. So I don't remember what the answer was. Is there a mod for KH2 that gives Roxas his original voice clips? Because I kind of low-key hate that they gave him Ventus's voice clips in the HD remake. HD remaster. It's not a remake. Because I not yet, but okay, good. Because I will download that in a fucking heartbeat. That was like, okay. That was like the one thing I noticed when I was doing Rando. I was like, wow. I didn't realize how much I missed like the original Roxas voice clips. Because, like, Ven's voice does not, like... Even though it's the same voice actor, I feel like Ven and Roxas have, like, different, like, tones to their voice, which you can especially hear at, like, the end of Dream Drop Distance. So, like, giving Roxas Ven's voice clips always, like, kind of bothered me. Yeah, like, Ven overall is, like, a way more upbeat character than Roxas. Roxas is, like, super mellow. And it's, like, at the end of Dream Drop Distance, during, like, the you know, the sequence where you talk to, like, Ven, Roxas, and Xion. And Riku's just, like... He finds Roxas, and Roxas is like, what are you so afraid of? And then he runs into Ven, and Ven's just like, what's the one thing in the world that makes you, like, just, like, completely different tone? I remember I played through I played through the entire series with my ex, and like we got to like the end of Dream Drop Distance, and like that happened, and we both just like burst out laughing. We're just like, oh my god. Yeah, that was the other thing, like, doing the Roxas fight on Vanilla KH2. Like, I forgot, like, his voice clips there. Like, Ven's voice does not fit that fight. Soft reset mod is also sick. Is there a soft reset mod for KH1? Doesn't KH2 have like an hour-long prologue? Yeah, I think it's an hour long. It might be longer, actually. The thing is that, like, the first time I played the KH2, I thought the prologue was stupid, and for, like, subsequent playthroughs, I thought the prologue was stupid, and then, like, you know, as an adult, the prologue is probably, like, one of my favorite parts of KH2. There's a save anywhere mod that lets you go back to the menu, but it takes much longer than 2FM soft reset. Oh. I wonder why it's, like, easy to mod, like, a soft reset in the KH2, but not KH1. The real question is, why the fuck did they get rid of that? Why would they want to quit KH1? No cryptids. You know, that whole text-to-speech thing where it said Rye cock size, made me very concerned. Like, if I do get partner and I can make my my sub prefix Riko, is text-to-speech gonna constantly say Riko? Because that's gonna bother me. KH2 is much easier to mod for in general. That's fair. I do find it interesting though, since they're on like the same collection, that it's like easier for one game in the collection than for another one. Change my name to Riko. Ugh. That looks so awful. I hate that. Yeah, correct, no. Yep. You know what's up, pig dog? I knew I should have spelled my name with a C. But then people would think my real name was like actually Riko, which some people still do. I love when like I just drop my real name and people are just like, wait, your name's not Riko? I'm just like, nope. It in fact is not.
Whoa!
How's the run going so far? Kinda sucks. But it's also like this hub.
Attention minions! The Bandicoots are inside! Start the Doom Raid!
Riko from Madagascar. I mean, you're right.
Are you ready? Start your...
The funny thing is, Violent, a lot of people pronounce it like that. Like when I first joined speedrunning, I know Skylar pronounced it like that. Ted pronounces it like that. And even though that's not the way it's supposed to be pronounced, I actually kind of like that pronunciation. I've never died in this section. I have never died in this section. So like, I accept both Riko and Riko because I think they both sound cool. I mean, like, Riko is probably like more unique. But like, Riko is what I intended it to be. So I take both. The only one that bothers me is Riko because it's wrong. And on 2 occasions, I've had people continuously call me Riko even when I've told them it's wrong. One out of legitimate, just like, you know, like absent-mindedness, and one out of stubbornness. But that guy's also an asshole, so. And both because my tag reminded them of the Yu-Gi-Oh card Riko Lightsworn Hunter, which is spelled the same way, it's just R-Y-K-O. And I play a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh, so they thought that's where I got it from. But no, the tag actually predates that card. But one of them was always like, oh, well, I always forget because it reminds me of Riko Lightsworn Hunter. I'm just like, I know it does, but that's not where it's from. And then the other one was like, well, I'm going to call it Riko because that sounds better. I'm just like, I don't care what you think sounds better. It's my fucking tag. Like, I had like some minor side effects earlier, Crash Kano. Like, I had like a little bit of lightheadedness within the first like 10 minutes of getting it, but that like went away really quickly. I was a little like achy earlier and like lethargic, so like standard flu shot shit. My arm is a little bit sore, but it's not nearly as bad as I thought it was gonna be with everybody like, oh yeah, my arm is sore. I'm just like, it's only like, I only notice it when I like move it like that. What I got, yeah. This is also the guy who I mentioned a few days ago. He was one of the two people who was very invested in the debate of who would win in a fight between Goku and Superman. He was very pro Goku. I don't know if it was Goku versus Superman or Goku versus the Hulk, but he was very pro Goku. This is also the guy who told me that I had to watch Gurren Lagann. It's such a good show, you have to watch it. After I had said that someone else had already tried that, and as a result, I don't want to watch it. And then, this is also a guy that's racist. Hence why I don't talk to him anymore. Let's try this again. Not what I wanted. But I'm not dead. Union Cross's shutdown got delayed. I have not played like any of Union Cross, but I've heard it's actually important to the story, and at that point I'm just like, how invested in the story am I really? Are they involved with speedruns because he might— No, he is not, thankfully. Man ain't even that good at Yu-Gi-Oh! If I'm being completely real. Yo, what's up? I'm happy. Good morning. Yo, honestly, thanks for the good luck. Ooh, oh, oh, oh. Oh, 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 I don't like this. Shit. You like the story, but you recommend watching it on YouTube instead of trying through 1 billion. Yeah, that's the thing. It seems grindy as fuck, and I'm just like, I'm not about that. I mean, I'm at the point where, like, a good portion of Kingdom Hearts I would just recommend people watch. Like, KH1 and KH2 and, like, maybe KH3, yeah, absolutely fucking play. I mean, I'd even argue in favor of playing Chain of Memories on GBA, because I think it works fine on GBA. But not on PS2. I personally enjoy Days, but it's a very repetitive game. I mean, so is Chain of Memories. But, like, Birth by Sleep and, like, Riko... Well, Recoded I would play only for the gameplay, but like... Dream Drop Distance, no, watch that. The game bothers me every time I go back to replay it. Am I really that dumb? Really? This looks better on PS5. I agree. I do think Crash 4 actually looks better on PS5. Or at least this level. So, like, the insane graphics, when I first, like, played, I didn't really particularly care for, but now that I'm, like, playing it more, I actually do really like how this game looks on PC with insane graphics. But I like the lighting on PS5 a lot more. I think PS5, this game is, like, way more vibrant. I don't know how I'm alive. I really don't know how I'm alive. PC, yeah. It's so weird. Like, you'd think they'd look better on PC. Why do I even do this, man? That's why I do it. For the rare occasion where it works. I think the PC version is supported. Oh, it absolutely is. Like, let's not kid ourselves. It very much is. I also, like, I want to try and show it off in the marathon. Like, I genuinely do want to show that off. So, even though I don't need it to PB right now, I'm gonna go for it anyway just for practice. Wow, this is terrible. What the fuck? Oh, okay, remember to do that in Jetboard Jetty. The PC version, or better than the Switch version. Did I submit to GDQ? No, I didn't, because I don't want to do any percent. Because for one, 3 other people already submitted any percent, and they're all way better at it than me, so they deserve it more. So that was part of it. Like, I'd be down to submit this category to like future GDQs. I just didn't think it should be in this one. And then I also, like, I want my first GDQ run to be an in-person event, honestly. Like, I do a lot of online marathons. I would like my GDQ event to be an in-person one.
This dimension was quite peaceful when I arrived, but fortunately my potions had some murderous effects on the inhabitants.
Apparently a lot of people put crash runs in, though. Like, Murkaz asked me if I put in 108, and I was like, no. I absolutely miss in-person GDQ. I hope all of this shit is in control enough by AGDQ that it can be in person. Like, I really want that. Granted, I don't know if we'll reach that point, but I'd like to believe. Yeah, also, like, I feel like Crash 4 is basically a guarantee to get in. Like, the most we get in terms of, like, more than one Crash game is we might get, like... We'll probably get Crash 4, and then we might also get, like, CTR. Which is, like... The only times there's been multiple Crash games in a GDQ was, 2017 was... AGDQ 2017 was Sword with Crash 2, and then Natty with CTR. And then SGDQ 15 was, why did I do that? SGDQ 2015 was, that Crash 2 run. And then, it was also Crash 3 No IG. Which nobody remembers the No IG run because it was overshadowed by, that Crash 2 run. Oh my fucking god. I hate this. Has NF been in GDQ? Yeah, the person who ran it is in the chat talking to me right now. Commentary is hard. As somebody who has done difficult commentary, or has done not well-received commentary on a GDQ, I agree. Commentary can be hard. Commentary fucked up to that big of a degree? No, that's more than just commentary is hard. Granted, I also think if someone had been like, hey, tone it down a bit, he probably would have stopped. But also, like, at some point, it is also, like, the fault of the person commentating. Like me, I take full responsibility for what happened with the commentary at AGDQ 2019. Like, that shit was my fault. To an extent. Who did this? I'm not gonna name drop. This run is already horrible. That Crash 2 run is as bad as everybody says it is. Like, it's pretty terrible.
Minus the kaiju to Neo.
Like, every time someone is that Crash 2 run bad? Yes. Yeah, I've heard nothing but, like, disappointing things about Balan Wonderland, which is, like, I'd never heard of it until, like, a few days ago, and I looked at the cover art and I was like, man, this looks really cool. I'm sad this game apparently sucks. Yo, Dev, thanks for the good luck. There's no such thing as a bad Crash 2 run. Certain sects of the internet would have you believe that there's no such thing as a good Crash 2 run at GDQ, when in fact, the track record of Crash runs at GDQ is at least half and half. Like, yeah, there was the SGDQ 15 run that everybody remembers. Why am I... That was partially my fault. Like, there's that run, and then there's the AGDQ 2019 run that I commentated and botched pretty, noticeably. But there's also really good Crash 2 runs. Like, Sword's AGDQ 2017 Crash 2 run is fucking so well received. Even if, like, the run itself was, like, not good by his standards, the commentary is phenomenal. And then, like, Roach's run from, like, 2015 is still, like, it's, like, not a bad run. And for the time that he did it, I'd say it was pretty good. Like, that was one of the first Crash 2 runs I ever watched. But people only ever remember the bad runs because they stick out more. Yeah, like, so, I know the runner of that run personally, to an extent. Like, I would say that he and I used to be what I would consider friends. We are no longer friends, for personal reasons that I don't think are gonna get resolved. I've tried. But, like, that aside, I think his self-reflection on that run in particular has been very good. Which is why, like, any issues I have with him, I do not hold that run against him, because he has learned from it. And really, that's, like, all you can ask for with a lot of this shit is that, did they learn from the experience? Like, again, bringing in my personal case where I fucked up really badly on a GDQ couch, yes, I learned from the experience. And in my personal opinion, I think all of my commentary before and after that event has been very good. So I definitely took away the criticism from that run and bettered myself for it. Who is this man? Again, I'm not name dropping. There's no need for that. Yo, what's up? It's Sloppy Joe. Oh my god, guys, Sloppy Joe is a real person. Yeah, like, as far as, like, Crash 2 runs go, there's, like, the one I was commentating for where it's, like, it's bad, but it's not, like, super bad. Like, it's not unacceptably bad. Like, it's to the point that most people have actually forgotten about it by this point. And then there's the SGDQ one, which is exceptionally bad, and everybody remembers it. But like other than that, Crash 2 does not have a bad track record in GDQ. I inspire you to try to speedrun. Oh hell yeah! I absolutely recommend it. It's so rewarding to do. Also, if I miss anything in chat, I'm sorry. It's moving pretty quickly, and it's crazy. This is a fucking 3-hour run, and there's like such little downtime. Like, I think that's the coolest thing about, like, this category, despite its length, is that a lot of the longer Crash categories have a fair amount of repetition to them. But, like, this category is longer than a lot of those categories, and it's, like, there's no level revisits outside of, you know, like, timeline shit, and I would say the boxes make them different enough. Not from a casual standpoint. From a casual standpoint, they feel like the exact same thing, but speedrunning wise, the levels feel distinct enough. You know, C3 NST has been in GDQ. Yeah, all of the original Crash games and all of NST have been in GDQ. C3 for NST, C3 and C1 have both been in twice. C2 has only been in once. C2 any percent has still never been in. And like part of me wants to submit it just because I'd be the only person fucking willing to run any percent. Because like everybody else hates it and I don't entirely like it either, but my issues with C2 any percent stem more with my issues with C2 NST than they do with the category specifically. All gems hasn't been in. For C2 100% is the only like NST category that's not any percent that's been in. You hate this level? Yo, same. This level is so fucking hard. I like this level in ACG because it's got a really cool trick in it that I'm about to do, but like in any percent, this level annoys me. But any percent in general also just annoys me, which is why I don't run it anymore. Will he freak it? Wow, that was super bad. Nothing about that was correct. So like casually, I like this level. But like in the speedrun, it's a very obnoxious level. Like the dragon cycles are super annoying. Please. Yeah, good job, Kyle. There it is. Yeah, like casually, I do think this is a good level. It's just annoying in the speedrun. Where's my cat? I saw her walk somewhere. I'm scared. I'm gonna like kick her by accident. You're surprised they took any percent instead of... Yeah. I felt like all gems had a pretty good chance. Honestly, if you were to ask me what Crash category deserves to be in a GDQ, aside from obviously Twinsanity, I would honestly say Crash won 100%. Because the Crash 100% run that Kane did several years ago is super outdated now. That run is on you, and it doesn't do Cortex Power or Upstream, so that's just how outdated it is. Like, I think Tet absolutely deserves to get that in. My proper introduction to speedrunning was Mr. Bean's 129, which was record like 7-8 years ago. I'd watched like some odd like Super Mario 64 runs here and there before that, but that was my first proper speedrun. Toxic Tunnels, a love-hate relation. No, I just adore Toxic Tunnels. Twins was backup for 2020, but that's the most it's gotten. I think I've been asked before, is like, would you run Twins at a GDQ? And my answer is always no, because obviously the person who should do it is Joe. Like, quite blatantly, it should be Joe. I would never disrespect Joe to the degree of submitting Twins when the person who should show it off is obviously him. Now, putting Twins in other marathons, yeah, I'll do that because it's not GDQ. This should work. Yeah, Mr. Bean's Crash 2 run was really good. It's very informative, at least for the time. Tried. Yep. Off balance. Too bad Twins will never get in. I don't think it'll never get in. It already got in as a backup, and Joe's a pretty well-known runner. Like, Joe has run so many games at GDQ. I absolutely think he can get that game in eventually. I should try to see if I can catch that without the death abuse. The only people who don't like speedruns of Twin Sanity are people who've never seen it. That's not true. Goober doesn't really like it all that much. And, like, I understand. Twins is a completely different run from, like, this game or, like, any of the OG games. Like, I think it's a sick as fuck run, but it's definitely not for everybody. But Twins is, like, the perfect snapshot of just how broken a game can be. Too bad M&M's will never get in. It's a real fucking travesty. That game, that game should get in, or the PC version with extra maths should get in. Like, I remember, like, visiting, like, my hometown and, like, hanging out with one of my friends. He was like, yo, there's this M&M game I really like, and I didn't recognize the title. And we were playing it, I was like, this was this M&M Shell Shock with some math. Maybe I should get it in. Twins. I won't put it in before Joe. That's the thing. I will not do that. Also, Gamers EDU, thanks for the raid.
Just stay put while I test this. Hold still.
Yeah, they accept games you would not expect to get in.
For science. Not for face.
Like, do they focus on Nintendo games? Yes, obviously, because Nintendo games bring in views, and that's how you raise money. But like, they do showcase obscure games.
Fly, my gelatinous fiddlesticks.
Would I submit Crash 4? Any percent I willingly did not, because I knew that
This one has extra
given the choice between me or Tacos or Damo or Jordy, any of the other three I mentioned deserve it more than me, so I didn't submit it, and all three of them did. ACG, yes, I would absolutely put it in. I think ACG doesn't have a particularly high chance of getting in because of how long it is, but I would definitely put it in. You hit Sephiroth with a Belmont axe when he parried and filled half the map. Jesus. Sephiroth got that reach. Wasn't GDQ how SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom got a popular boost? Probably helped. There's a PewDiePie video on speedrunners. Do I even want to know? Is Jory the best at remastered Crash games? He has a lot of words and formal words. If you're looking at time trials, possibly. I don't know enough about the time trials and where he stands in them now. Full game, I would argue no, because the only one he's at the top of is this one, and this isn't even a remastered Crash game. This is just a new one. It's hard to pinpoint who the best across all of like the HD Crash games is, because there isn't anybody who is really strong at all 5 of them, if we're including NF. At least from a full game perspective. When I think about it, the only person who's like really dominant across multiple categories is Potty. And even then, Potty mostly sticks to Crash 2 and Crash 3. Like, he's got a really strong time in this category, but he doesn't grind it. He has like respectable times in Crash 1, but again, he doesn't grind it. He doesn't even play an F. You hate people that play top tier characters and taunt when they win. Well, there's nothing wrong with playing a top tier character, but taunting when you win is just BM in general. It doesn't matter what character you're playing. Yeah, Jordy's really good at 1, 4, and NF, but like, I think saying he's the best across like the entire like HD series is, it's not that simple. Also with NF, it's like specifically with like ILs. And ILs and full game are 2 completely different things. Did I miss something? Oh no, I left one of those behind, which I don't normally do. That's like my first suggestion would be Potty, because he for full game he is the only one I can think of who is like super strong across multiple categories across multiple games. But even then, even that only stretches to Crash 2 and 3. That being said, he's absolutely dominant in Crash 2 and 3. Like, the closest competition Potty has in any of the Crash 2 and 3 categories that he's, like, at the top is Groovy in the Crash 2 categories. And Groovy is, super inactive in NST because, yeah. Yo, look at that shit, though. Yeah, like, that's the other thing. Potty is good at 1 and 4. He just doesn't grind them. Like, Potty has a sub 3 in this category. For not grinding it really all that much, that's impressive. Like, he ran it for like a month and stopped and got sub 3. And then, like, like I said, he's got really respectable times in Crash 1. He just thinks the game's boring compared to 2 and 3. So he doesn't grind it. Yo, Nutsok. You know, if I wanted to toot my own horn, I've got a pretty solid time in all of them except for Crash 1 and NF, but I also don't have record in any of them. Except for this, where I have PC record, which I barely count because it's still not overall record. It's really hard to pinpoint the best of someone at like across multiple games. I like to think about it because it's just something my brain enjoys thinking about. But some people also don't like that kind of comparison, so I don't like bring it up to a serious degree. I'm a god gamer. Thank you.
Time for a spring cleaning.
I am a god gamer. What's that fucking cheese tweet or whatever?
Jump on a TNT.
When was the last time I played C1?
What am I?
C1 NST has to have been like close to a year ago. Not counting the 315. Like the annual 315 we did in November. Not November. Was it November? It was like September or something. We did an annual 315. That was the last time I played C1 NST, and before that it had to have been like over a year ago.
Ah, bastards. They'll get every last
OG
one
I
of
played a
yous.
couple months ago. Like, part of me wants to do more C1 NST, at least for all gems, because I do genuinely like the category, but I just like OG1 more. Depp in the background brandishing his pitchfork. Again, if I were to go back to NST, the category I'd most likely be to return to would be 108. And even then, that one I'm not entirely sure on. Because I think I'm reaching the point where I'm starting to like OG 105 more than 108, which harms me very much on the inside. Considering how much I preach how great of a category 108 is. Even I don't want to run it anymore. Oh, I honestly just ignore the GSP zombie. It's so fucking stupid. Like, the key to playing Smash Ultimate online is to not take it seriously in any way whatsoever because it's awful. But it gets my Smash fix out of the way when I'm like tired of Melee and I just want to play Ultimate. Like an hour or so of quick play just gets me there, I guess. Also, sometimes I just like styling on people with ZSS. C1 NSC is the only game that's better than OG. I will contest that, actually. Because for one, I prefer the OG version of Crash 1, and for two, I prefer the remake of Crash 3. Like, casually, absolutely, I prefer the remake. Speed-wise, I still think the remake's better, even if I have more fun with OG. Who's my main? It's up in the air. The last time I was active in Ultimate, my main was Zero Suit Samus. My favorite character is Inkling, but I don't think I play them well enough to, like, use in bracket. And I feel like there's better characters suited for me than them. Like, the characters I have the most fun actually playing as right now are ZSS and Wolf. And I also really like Diddy Kong, but I main Diddy in 4. So it throws me off when I try to play him in Ultimate, because there are some things about him that are, like, different. Even though he's really similar to how he is in 4, it's just like the minor things just throw me off. I remember a friend of mine was saying like he hits the same problem with Mario, because he played Mario in 4, and then he tries to play Mario in Ultimate and hits the same problem. Crash 1 having a functional save and checkpoint system is nice. That is one of the nice things about the remake. Like, Crash 1 is the one where I'm very half and half on which one of them I prefer. I think they're both very good. I have a very big soft spot for the original, though. Got him. Do I like CTR or NF more? It's really hard to pick. When I actually get to play the game, I prefer NF more. But NF's loads are so atrocious that I feel like I really want to give it to the original because of that. Oh, these. I was like, wait a minute. I mean, as somebody who's tried to get into like pre-N64 era games, Dep, and even like N64 games, getting into older games is hard. They have mechanically aged quite noticeably. Are NF loads on PS5 okay? They're better, but they're not good. Like, I did a 101% run a few weeks ago, and I still had an hour of loads on PS5. Yeah, like, the only thing that holds NF back for me is the loads. The loads are so atrocious. Like, you end up... Like, especially, like, online, you end up playing the game less than, like, waiting for the game to load. Between, like, sitting in the lobby, waiting for everybody else to load, waiting for the race to load, like... Having to deal with disconnects because there's no host migration. And I would say the online is, like, one of the single biggest selling points of NF. So if you're not actually playing the online, you're playing a game that has more content than the original, but, like, also, like, they're both really good games, and one of them you get to actually play.
You smell good enough to eat. Yeah.
Oh, that was close. Yeah, that doesn't make enough money for Activision to care. Not anymore, at least. Yeah, no, if NF had a PC port, we'd probably have way better loads. The other thing is that the loads are so long because of all the updates. Like, someone downpatched the game to 1.0 and played it on a PS5, and they had, like, 5-second loads. But, you know, like, the current version of the game, I have, like, 30-second loads. Which is better than it is on PS4, but it's still bad. I mean, NF did sell well, but it's an old game now. Like, why push NF when you can push Crash 4? Which, like, from a business standpoint, I get it. It just sucks for the consumer. It sucks for all the people who love the shit out of NF, like me. I think NF is fantastic when you get to actually play it. NF sold it more than NST. I'm not sure about that. NST sold a shit ton. Like, whenever people are like, oh, this game sold worse than Crash or than NST, I'm like, is that a problem? Like, NST sold a lot. That's like saying my movie is less successful than Avatar. Maybe not to that degree, but you know. It's like releasing a film and being sad that it got outperformed by an MCU movie. The funny thing is that the Switch version of NF probably has, I think it has better loads than base PS4 now. Oh yeah, if they put MTX in, it would have made more money, but I'm glad they had morals. And even then, they still had MTX, but not like anything notable. Remember when they accidentally said that this game was going to have MTX and people got really mad and they had to clarify, no, that was a mistake, there's no MTX, and nobody believed them? Or at least some people didn't believe them. Some people will really play games. Yeah, because NST was a throwback to, like, it's a remake of an old game, so like it tickled the nostalgia of people who like played the games. Like I played the demo of NST at a GameStop because I found a GameStop that actually had the demo. And like while I was playing it, there was a dad and his son there, and the son had never seen Crash Bandicoot. But like the dad was like, "Oh, Crash Bandicoot! This game was around when I was a kid." Like they got those people to buy it. Like my fucking my brother-in-law and sister bought it, and they were very much just strictly casual gamers. Like my sister fucking plays like Animal Crossing, and like that's it. But like she bought and plays Crash 4 because like she has nostalgia for it. We grew up with it. Well, we grew up with like Crash, not Crash 4, obviously. Like that's why NST sold so well. It hit the nostalgia of people who remember the original Crash games. God, they didn't stick with the weird being low thing. There's no way this would be successful if they had stuck with that. You guys alright? I mean, I appreciate the hospitality, like, holy shit. I hate that cycle, so, you know. I'm assuming Platt was talking about Titans and Mind Over Mutant. Yeah, like, NST sold really well, and then people threw a hissy fit when Crash 4 took place after Crash 3 instead of Mind Over Mutant. Like, what the fuck did you expect? Yeah, these remakes of these classic Crash games sold really well. We're gonna make a sequel that takes place after the Crash games that nobody liked, except for like a select few people, as Riko raises his hand. Yeah, we gotta remake Bash and the Wrath of Cortex, and like Nitro Kart and Twin Sanity. Like I don't even want a fucking Twin Sanity remake, guys. Like that's my favorite Crash game, and I don't even want that. Yeah. Eee! There it is. I haven't said E in a while. But no, it's funny whenever people are like, oh, they should have added the CNK campaign to Nitro Fuel, and I'm just like, why? Or like, I want them to remake the Wrath of Cortex. I'm like, why? Or like, I want them to remake Bash. I'm like, that one I kind of get a bit more, but also why? Yeah, I feel like the faction of people who want the non-Naughty Dog games remade forget that those games were not nearly as commercially successful. Like, God forbid, I love the shit out of Twin Sanity. That game was not really that commercially successful. It doesn't even have a greatest hits release. It has a platinum release in PAL, but like it doesn't have a greatest hits release. That's how poorly it sold compared to the older Crash games. Like, so no, I don't want a Twin Sanity remake because it wouldn't do well. Just keep giving me new games like this one that are fucking great. Like, I say that Twin Sanity is my favorite Crash game, but the more I play this, and like the more I think about this and like Crash 2, it's really fucking close. Like, at the end of this year, I might say this is my favorite Crash game. I really don't know.
Like it.
Did Titans sell well? I honestly don't know. I don't think it did. I don't recall ever seeing like a greatest hits Titans. Or Mind Over Mutant. Exactly, that's where I am also. Like a Crash game with elements and gameplay similar to Twinsanity, with like more openness. Sure, yeah, I'm about that. I don't want a fucking Twinsanity remake, or the whole like arbitrary. Coco is extremely annoying in Titans. But like the whole like, oh, I want Twinsanity remake with all the cut content. What do you even mean by that? That's not a coherent product.
Which way's me
A lot of the quote-unquote content from Twinsanity is ideas that really never made it past the drawing board. Like people think they had all these things that they just cut because they didn't have time to polish it out, when really that was only just like one level. I've never shot it with a bat, but okay. Yeah. That's how I feel. Dude, can you fucking not? Yeah, I didn't know they actually acted as projectiles. Yeah, exactly, Endo. NST was a test to see if Crash would sell in the modern age, and it succeeded spectacularly. Hence, they're going to make more games in the direction of NST, because they realize that is what people like.
Smells like home.
Alright, I have an error. I like to believe that the faction of the Crash community who, you know, like despises this game and just wants more remasters of every like mid-tier Crash game that released in the early 2000s is of an extremely vocal minority, because like I do think a majority of the general public, if they liked Crash at all, think this game was very good. And like I feel like most of the people who didn't like this game, like I mean there are some Crash fans who are not fans of this game, like Ruby doesn't like this game, and like I don't blame him. But like I feel like most people who are Crash fans like this game, and if they didn't like this game, then they probably weren't Crash fans. Bro, but how do you even... Or when you get the people who are like, oh, I wonder why they didn't add more of like the underwater and like plane levels from Crash 3. I'm just like, God fucking, I'm so glad they didn't. Don't you fucking dare. Like, seriously? That's some shit right there, man.
Let's go!
Oof. I don't mind like vehicle levels and gimmicks in moderation. Like the vehicles in this game don't bother me, at least now that they fixed Polar. Interesting. But like Crash 3, 50% of that game is vehicles. That's the problem, is when it becomes too much. Like that's one of this game's strongest points, is that it puts all of the focus on the platforming, and all of the game's gimmicks are still platforming. Like all of the quantum masks, all of the extra characters, it's all still platforming. Hui. But like, I like Crash 3, but that game is a half platformer, and that's its biggest problem. I don't know if I play Glover on N64. I haven't, but I've heard of it, and I think I've seen gameplay of it. I think it was at a GDQ once. Yeah, exactly. Like, oh yeah, I love the plane levels in Crash 3, the best part of the game! Like, what? I love losing a race with the motorcycle and having to do the entire fucking level over again. One of the hardest bike levels in Warp 3. And when said bike level is actually like a legitimate roadblock to finishing the game. You know what happened in Crash Games? Well, Wrath of Cortex was they had to make that game in a year, so they copied Crash 3, except they went way too overboard. And then they just kept doing it. Like Twin Sanity was a attempt to take it back on track while also making it fresh. Like again, Twin Sanity is another example where the gimmicks are not just a bunch of vehicles, and they work in with like the platforming and puzzle solving aspects of the game. So like even though Twin Sanity does have a bunch of gimmicks, they all work really well and they feel like a natural addition to the game. Also, like Twin Sanity is still predominantly platforming. Like I was thinking about it and I was like, how many levels don't have any platforming in them? And it's like literally just slip slide and rock slide. Like, even Cavern has fucking platforming in it. Superman 64, the superior SM64 according to Headstrong. Oh, that was good. Ooh. That was really risky and not worth it because I had to wait on that one anyway. That didn't work. Oh, that's such boring level interactions. Crash and Coco besides the real interaction. Yeah. I didn't even realize I went from a minute behind to a minute ahead after off balance because it didn't even process in my head that I had 3 minutes to save in that level. Alright, have a nice on me. I mean, to Tana's credit, in Truck Stop, she literally saves your life, because otherwise you were gonna be fucking run over. So she does get that one. I mean, the reason the truck is slow is because of she hooks it in place. Like that's the point. But yeah, you got it, I guess.
About that. I'm having fun. Can you tell?
Oh, Spyrophobia made by Vicarious Visions. Nah, they're too busy being absorbed by Blizzard. Spyro 4 with NST jump. Oh, that's disgusting. Why would you say that? Never a huge fan of Spyro. That's where I am. Like, the only Spyro game I love is Spyro 1, but I'd be interested to see what they do with Spyro 4.
Ooh, must have left my jacket in the Bermuda Quadrangle.
But Riko, there's already a Spyro 4. It's called Enter the Dragonfly. Just like these real Crash 4s. Walk, shut the fuck up. Literally call it Crash 4 in one region, and people will not let that go.
Let the next world be a beach world. Sunshine
Literally
and
only Japan.
Sand, drinks with mini umbrellas.
Like whenever people are like, "Oh well, actually, we already have Crash 5. It's called Twin Insanity." I'm just like, "Shut the fuck up." Japan does know. Isn't Super Mario World like Super Mario Bros. 4 in Japan? Is ATD even in Japan? I know Spyro 3 isn't. It's not released in Japan. Lucky them. Woo! That was sexy. No camera system was gonna save Spyro Enter the Dragonfly.
About that. I'm having fun. Can you tell? That's pretty good. You're watching a Spyro Pro video at the end of the. I've made
I can't
the
read that.
upgrades to my blimp.
Morning, Nelly.
Rain of giant deadly missiles. Punchbot Mark II, deploy! Ow! Punchbot Mark II is for punching you, not me! Let's try this one.
I was under the impression the Wii remake was about Klonoa. Yeah. I was like, there's definitely not a Wii remake of Enter the Dragonfly. What the fuck would they do that for?
The anti-marsupial missile is my own design. Do you like it? Put that Bandicoot, Punchbot! No! Well, if you won't play fair, then neither will I.
You're afraid of the 25th letter of the alphabet? Well, that sucks.
Kill the Bandicoot, crush the Bandicoot, smash it in
Sonic 06 remake for PS5. You know, there's some Sonic fans who would want that.
I wonder what happens if I hit all the buttons at once.
Man, if I wasn't actually trying to PB, I would mute voices just here. Also, what's up, QB? Oh my god! Fuck it. Oh, let's just lose 40 seconds, guys. It's fine. $30 seconds. Sonic 06 Redemption. I call it Sonic 06 Apologists. Bro. I know you're up there. Thank you. There's a PC fan remake in the works. That might solve some of the problems. Dude, I don't know why, but my fucking, like, 12-year-old brain when that game came out, I wasn't even a fan of Sonic, but I thought the super humanoid-looking Eggman, like, with, like, actual human proportions was, like, the coolest shit. And now I look at that, I'm like, this is unsettling. Ooh! I think Sonic 06 could have been, like, alright if it worked. Like, if it was a functional game. Still wouldn't be amazing, but... the plot would still have, concerns. No, the really scary ones are the Sonic Unleashed apologists. I had someone blow up at me once because I dared to say I wasn't impressed by Sonic Unleashed. I was just like, the daytime sections were good. And they were like, no, Sonic Unleashed is great and you're just a hater. I was like, I mean, like, as somebody who's not a Sonic fan, I thought the game was below average. And he was like, oh, well, you don't even get to say anything because you're not a Sonic fan. I was like, and that somehow negates my opinion of liking a video game? Sorry, guys. None of your... if you don't like Crash Bandicoot, you're not allowed to have an opinion on the series. Like, I'm sorry, that's just how it works. It's the law. Like, whenever someone tells me, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not a fan of Crash Bandicoot, well, you're not allowed to have an opinion because you're not even the fan. Like, what? You know what I say when someone tells me they don't like Crash Bandicoot? Okay, that's fine. You are allowed to like different things from me. Sonic fans are a different breed. I mean, so are Crash fans. Being completely real. You like Spyro more than Crash? I feel like a lot of people actually do like that.
Let's see how these prehistoric predators like my blaster's new settings.
Oh, that worked. Oh, that worked too. Oh, that was fast. What the fuck? This level never works. See?
I added blockification. Well, who's laughing now? Me.
For you, Crash is very... I like Crash more than Mario in general. But I won't pretend I don't respect Mario for what it's done for platformers as a whole. Okay.
Ooh, bouncy.
Like, I don't have to like SM64, but I do respect it. I really hate when that happens. Is it really that hard to just land on a fucker? It's so weird that Sonic Unleashed has such a venomous fan base, because if I was under the impression correctly, that game was never particularly well received. You don't like 2D Mario. 2D platformers in general are a bit of a hard sell for me. Mostly just because I grew up with Crash, so I grew up with 3D platformers. But again, I respect all of the 2D Mario games for being good games. And being very revolutionary to the genre as a whole.
Do good guys have volcano lairs? Much to learn. On second thought, no volcano lair.
Like, the impression I've always gotten about Sonic Unleashed is that the daytime sections are pretty universally liked, and then the nighttime sections are pretty universally not liked. Unless you're weird.
Haven't seen mushrooms that big since I left the Gigantizotron running overnight.
Wow, I didn't even need these. It's a new one. .2D platform is getting old fast, you think? Yeah, I don't know, like... The handful of 2D Mario games I've actually played a fair amount of, I do like. Like, I really liked NSMB1. I really like SMB1. Like, granted, I've only really played the deluxe version of SMB1, but I thought it was really good. Because it's still Super Mario Bros. This is Dino Dash. Where was I going with that?
Bandicoots are en route.
I enjoyed NSMBU, even though it was not really that original at all. It was still fun. So you said FDS, and I thought I knew you didn't mean fast disk speed, but like it took me a while to realize that you were saying Famicom disk system. Oh yeah, I don't think I would enjoy vanilla SMB1 without like save states, because like Deluxe has save stating or save games. All about that fast poop speed. Yep. 198 fast poop speed. Yeah, poop. Fanbase is a fanbase that's fastest and quickly. 180 on a game. That's crazy because the Crash fanbase does that too. I distinctly remember everybody thinking NST was the worst thing ever made. But then Crash 4 came out and now NST is the greatest thing ever made. Oh, I remember it very clearly. I remember being one of the only fuckers who actually liked NST. And how the tables have turned. I'm actually quite critical of NST now, despite still thinking it's a good game. But if you insult NST, then you just have no taste. Like, okay, man. Oh yeah, there was so much hate for NST, both in like the Crash speedrunning Discord, which there still kind of is. There was that. There was hate for it on Reddit. Oh, people were savage to NST. But you know, this game comes out and everybody's like, oh, everything about NST was so great, why would you change it? I'm like, shut the fuck up. You did not say that 3 years ago. I don't want to hear it. Oh, I'm so good. People like complaining? Oh, they absolutely do. They absolutely do. And I like complaining about people complaining. I mean, jump physics costing runs that's not a problem with NST, that's a problem with wanting it to be the same as OG. Which that was the core problem with a lot of people in the OG Discord. It wasn't OG, therefore it sucked. And I get it. I don't really entirely like the jumping physics in NST either, but that doesn't by itself make the game bad. And if you're losing runs to it, then be better. Like, I remember being told that there were things in NST that were, like, not possible. Like getting all the lives in Air Crash was, like, literally impossible. Or getting the lives in the Digging It bonus was literally impossible. And then I showed pictures and videos of me doing it. And they're like, oh, well, that's not the same way as you do it in OG. I'm like, so? You told me it wasn't possible. Stop backpedaling. The bouncing in NST is conceptually stupid. Like, conceptually, it's really stupid that bounces work the way they do in NST. But it is only a real problem in a handful of levels. Like, the high road, piston it away, air crash, like, if you want to go for the lives. Like, I think it's a fundamentally stupid change that they made. But realistically, it only, like, negatively impacts, to a significant degree, in a handful of spots. This game is... can I just, like, have the pace I had yesterday, man? Oh yeah, people complain about Nitro Field. There was a day one thread about someone complaining about how Nitro Field was so awful and bullshit compared to CTR. Like, you've had this game for less than 48 hours, man. Like, oh, I can get all the Oxide times in OG, and I can't even get close to Entropy in NF. And I'm like, well, maybe you just suck. Well, you ever just consider that? I mean, inverted is kind of shit. Hidden crates, I think, happen too much, but I don't think they're as bad as everybody says they are. Again, I found a good portion of the hidden crates on my own. I only had to look up like a few of them. But people don't want to try. When given the option to figure it out for yourself or complain, people will always pick to complain. I will say the online Smash community is pretty bad, but like the in-person Smash community that actually like goes to events and shit are pretty chill people. I've met a lot of amazing people through Smash, but don't take Smash Twitter as a representative of the community. You can take Twitter as a representative for other fandoms like Crash and Sonic because there's no like. Why is this game shitting on me right now? Like Crash and Sonic and stuff like. There's no real like there's no like in-person Crash events happening. There's no like Crash-thon or like Crash tournaments or anything. But, like, there is a legitimate, like, in-person Smash community that is so much better than the online community because they're not a bunch of fucking incels. I don't think there's a single hidden gem, like, so like, with the exception of Run It By You, No Dillo Dallying, and Out for Launch, I don't think any of the hidden clear gems, so like non-inverted, are bullshit. A lot of them are really fucking easy. Maybe you should use your eyes. What's that, the line that Hermione has in the first Harry Potter movie? You don't use your eyes, do you? Now, hidden gems and inverter levels, super fucking bullshit. Fuck that shit. The hidden gems are significantly less BS than the hidden crates. What's poppin'? What's up, Sardat? We're just bitching about things as we do. It's great. I'm bitching about people bitching, as I do. The thing is that Run It By You is really stupid, but it still gives you a hint. It's just that it's just barely enough off screen that even with the camera, it's really hard to see. And same with No Dillo Dallying. That's the only reason I think those two are bullshit. Because even with the camera, it's hard to find them. And then Out for Launches is literally hidden behind something. Go, Valentine, yeah. Oh yeah, no, like I agree, Question. Online Smash community is some shit.
May I assist?
That's why I don't interact with them. But like, Smash at least has the benefit that there's an in-person community that is overwhelmingly good. Like, yes, we have a bunch of like, we had a lot of problems that got addressed in the last year. But that's the thing, we actually dealt with those problems. The only part about NF that's awful is the control, or not the control, the loads.
Be another one of them shimmery things around here.
So like when you actually get to play NF, it's extremely good. You just never get to fucking play it. Like the loads are the only thing that hold that game back. Can I really? I didn't even know I could do that. That's the second time that depth perception just fucked me over there. It wasn't just Zero Elite.
All right. Gotta be another one of them shimmery things around here.
Although Zero in particular did disgust me a bit more than some of the other ones, just because at the height of like Zero hate in Smash 4, I defended him because people hated him for his playstyle, where I had nothing but mad respect for his playstyle because it was very efficient. But then all that shit about him came out and I was just like, yeah, no. Try hitting the crate this time. Definitely a fall from grace. Yo, Joseph, thanks for the good luck. It's the game we're playing, man. How am I doing tonight? Little all over the place just because of the COVID vaccine. Like, I'm still feeling some side effects, but overall I'm pretty alright. Like, still got a bit of achiness. This level, if this level worked, it would be great. Like, please tell me what I'm supposed to do. How the fuck did Potty save this for the end of the run? Thank you, fucker. I feel like this works less on PC. Like, I never had this much problems with them on, like, PS5. Yeah, just aim. It's easy, bro. All too easy. I will say, though, without getting into details, out of all of the all of the situations we learned about with, like, Smash people that were vile, I think the one that disgusts me the most is D1. Again, without going into detail, but that one really riles me up. Oh yeah, that's the Beanox crate for unlocking Iron Checkpoint crate, KH Master. Yeah, D1.
Time to go home.
Yeah, D1 was a very huge part of Melee's history. He was a huge part of Smash 4's commentary history also. Senpai was also very disgusting. And Senpai is from my region, so that one especially hurt. Like, I've met her. I've played her in tournament. Yeah, Senpai's was pretty vile also. Senpai's was also the one that, like, kickstarted everything. Like that was where, like, the entire giant wave of allegations came from. Like, that's the thing. Like, I've met Senpai and I've met Puppet. Like, it's disgusting what she did. I mean, I'll be honest, D1 was never really my favorite commentator, but I didn't think he was terrible. But I also didn't know he was a vile human. Wow, I thought I was going to hit that nitro, to be honest. No, the Senpai was the... Puppet was the victim in the Senpai situation. Like, he made a twit longer of, like, his history with that, and that's what kickstarted, like, all of the allegations that happened in that week. I mean, Senpai was more known for, like, Smash 4 and Ultimate, and she was a commentator. as far as we can tell, Nairo is innocent. And I was actually about to say, I'm not going to go into too much on that one just because it's such a complex situation, but another one that particularly bothers me is everything involving Captain Zack. Michael Jackson had allegations, but we still loved him, right? I mean, it's not really a one-to-one scenario. The Michael Jackson stuff has never been proven. Although I suppose that with enough allegations there might be a reasonably decent chance of some validity to it, but I don't know enough about it to say for sure. But also at the same time, there are plenty of people who don't like Michael Jackson, so... like, his legacy is definitely not spotless. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. You actually hit the crate I wanted you to. Yeah, I didn't think, like... There's a there was a type of D1 commentary that I thought was fine, where, like, he was the hype man, but he wasn't, like, extreme about it. Like, he could bring the hype. But there was also a period of time where D1's commentary was literally just constant screaming. And that I didn't really think was that great. Which is why he was never particularly one of my favorite commentators, though I didn't think he was a terrible one. I think hype men in, like, any type of commentary is fine if you have the right dynamic. Like, take, like, TK and EE. EE is very obviously the hype man in that scenario, but he does it really well. Like, he and TK bounce off of each other extremely well. So in that situation, it works. That was D1 Ando. And honestly, I think that's... like, going back to that clip, even before all the allegations against him, I thought that was kind of annoying. That really hurt me. Yo, Lemo. How's the run going? Not as good as the one yesterday, but still can be something. Yeah, I think hype man and commentary works with the right dynamic, but when they're just like screaming, doesn't really have, like there still has to be like good analysis. Like that's the thing. Like again, to the example of TK and EE, when EE is the hype man and bringing like a lot of like you know the funniness and stuff, like you have TK doing like analytical commentary. So there it works really well. Or like contrast, like if you look at like Phil and Homemade Waffles, their dynamic just is really funny, so it works really well when they commentate together. It's definitely not over until it's over. Like I'm not throwing away this run because like it can still whir by like a small amount, although at this point it would be very tight. And at the very least it can still like PB and PC whir. What's up, Nico? I mean, I didn't even think that moment was that funny or great, to be honest, but yeah. Courage was a hype man cast for Call of Duty. I've never really been invested in COD at all, so I have no idea.
If I only hadn't replaced my blaster's
Shooters in general are a genre that I am not very in tune with, so... Yeah. Like, TK does just work with a lot of commentators. I also might catch heat for this, but I'm not really the biggest fan of Scar and Toph. Like, as far as commentary goes. As far as how they are as people, I have no opinion on that. I don't know them. But I've never found their commentary particularly interesting. Yeah, this is me. One high man and one serious. I mean, again, that's what I think makes TK and EE work really well. Is that they each play one of those roles. And they, like, mix it up also. Like, EE is not completely lacking in analysis, and TK has moments of being a hype man and being really funny. I despise this level. Don't we all?
Ship launch in 10, 9. Should have started at 3. Blast off!
As far as we know, Zero is still guilty. And yes, he did try to do that, but that's not something we need to talk about. DJ Khaled. Whoa. I'm only just now starting to feel like a lot of the side effects. I'm feeling more achy than I was earlier tonight. Hopefully it'll wear off in like a day or so. Okay. Trying to not die. Thanks, Toys for Bob, for not putting a single mask in this freaking level. Do I think Smash will be back at EVO after Sony's purchase? I don't know, it's possible. I mean, Sony purchasing EVO doesn't automatically mean anything not owned by Sony gets ruled out. But also, I don't know. That was pretty good. I think my solo best is like 4 seconds off any NSGs at this point.
Well, hey, where did my cart go?
Ooh, I've never made that cycle. Suffering from world record, yeah. Oh, that's not a Nintendo being disappointed with the Smash community. It's the Nintendo not giving a fuck about the Smash community and never having given a fuck about the Smash community. Nintendo has only ever viewed the Smash community as one thing, and that's a marketing ploy. You're watching in bed and may fall asleep at any second. Hell yeah, that's the dream right there. I honestly really like falling asleep to streams. Like just turn on the stream and leave it up as I fall asleep. games make you lose enough sleep. Hell yeah. I should have taken damage there. I mean, the Smash community... Yeah, the Smash community has only ever been a tool for Nintendo to use in their eyes. I mean, like, you're saying seeing what became of the Smash community, but, like, all of those allegations are not a representation of the entire Smash community. Like, acting like the Smash community is, like, some unsalvageable cesspool that will never, ever be, like, good and pure ever is misleading. Because, as people seem to have kindly ignored, we dealt with the problems. Like, those people are gone. Like, every single person who had an allegation against them that was, like, at least not disproven is gone. D1 is gone. Zero is gone. Like, La Luna is gone. DJ Nintendo is gone. Senpai is gone. Now, it would be a problem if those allegations happened and we didn't do something about it. So, like, every time people were like, oh, well, with what happened to the Smash community, no one would want to interact with that. But that's not the Smash community. Now, there's fundamental problems in the Smash community that need addressing to stop things from happening to this degree again. But treating the Smash community like it's some unsalvageable cesspool of, like evil is wrong. I mean, the FGC has always looked at the Smash community poorly, and not because of that, but because they don't consider Smash a fighting game. Completely different issue. Okay, man. I mean, everybody makes those jokes about, like, every community. The whole smelly nerd thing is not exclusive to Smash. You hear the same jokes about Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh! And, like, literally any fandom. As to why they're always picking on them. Because it's an internet community, what do you expect? Even Sonic fans make fun. What, you hating on Cold Steel the Hedgehog? Describe how much you hate the Sunset Vista. You can actually take that time trial extremely safe and still get like a gold relic. Now, if you're going for platinum, then yeah, you'll probably have to book it. But you can actually, you can get that gold relic without breaking a single time crate if you go fast enough. So like, you can be super, super safe in that relic. Crash 1 is definitely extremely cycle heavy. Jesus. I mean, honestly, Josu, it sounds like you're looking at trolls too much. I'm always talking about subjects. Really interesting scene. Thank you. I mean, like, I'm not a one-dimensional person. Like, I don't, like, live, breathe, crash, and nothing else. I have a lot of interests. And I'm a very, like, I want to say philosophical, but, like, I'm a very inner thinking person. I put a lot of, like, time into, like, interpreting my feelings on a lot of things. I'm a deep thinker. I don't mind talking about, like, most subjects, even if they're, like, potentially controversial, as long as things remain civil. Like, there's some topics I won't talk about. Like, I'm not gonna ever, like, spark a discussion about religion, because that's way too touchy of a subject. Like, I probably won't talk much about, like, you know, like suicide or something, because it's a very sensitive subject, and I don't really like talking about it. But, like, something like politics, in my experience, as long as it remains civil, and it is very capable to be remaining civil, I think it's something that's interesting to talk about. You just have to find the right people to talk to about it. And there are some times where I just don't have the energy to talk about, like, politics. So, like, if I'm not feeling it, I'll be like, I don't really want to talk about this. But oh god, 1 minute break, 2 hours in, 2.5 hours in. It's where you could have an actual discussion about big subjects on the internet. Yeah, like, conversing on Twitter is literally impossible.
Reality shattering proportions.
Interdimensional domination. Something monumental.
Something.
Not from our universe.
Yeah, exactly, Lomo. Like, I've had very nice civil discussions with people on the opposite side of the political spectrum of me because we respect each other's differences and just have a nice like back and forth conversation. And the flip side, I have had really awful conversations with people that I am ideologically on the same side because they're stubborn as mules and will not listen to any viewpoint except for their own. And just treat everybody else who doesn't agree with them as just the scum on the earth. The run's okay, Super Sphere. It can still whir, but it'll be really tight.
In my universe, bandicoots are
It can still PC whir by a lot, but like overall whir, it'll be really tight. Like the rest of the run has to be very good.
Some keep them as pets, but I find it disgusting. I much prefer spiders. Some keep them as pets, but I find it disgusting. I much prefer spiders.
I conservative or Republican. Those are the same thing, and I'm neither.
So many little legs to pull.
Why am I so bad, dude?
So elegant, spiders.
So elegant, spiders. Okay, yeah, we're definitely not worried.
So many little legs to pull.
Getting to the boss looks not wrong. I'm fat fingering the shit out of this. Like, holy fuck.
Oh, our lost puppy's found its way home.
Let's put them down. Activate the security lasers. Enough! I won't be foiled by a flea bag. Time to die.
I mean, to answer your question, Joseph, is what I think you meant. I am registered as a Democrat and have left-leaning views, but I don't even really consider myself a Democrat either. I'm only registered as one for the sake of like voting in primaries.
Watch this bug.
I consider myself an independent. Oof. But like, I have friends that are conservatives. They're not the fucking neo-Nazis that you generally relate to Republicans in the current day and age of the United States. Because otherwise they wouldn't be my friends. But like, I have friends who have like conservative leaning values, and we've had civil political conversations because they're not scum. And we respect each other's differences. Don't miss the TNT. Yeah, I'll try not to do that. Switch your party to vote. Yo, same. I registered as a Democrat to vote in the primary, and then by the time we were able to vote in the primary, there was one candidate left. That being said, I still didn't vote for Joe Biden because like he's gonna win anyway, so I'll at least vote for the person who I wanted. That being said, I voted for Joe Biden in the election because why the fuck wouldn't I? Like, all the people who are like, oh, Joe Biden's just as bad as Donald Trump, are just like, whoa, I don't know about that. Twitter makes you think everyone is true. Yeah, because like, Twitter very much vocalizes the vote, like, Twitter accentuates the vocal minority. And it all absolutely accentuates the negative. Which is why I restrict my Twitter usage to like memes. Who did I vote in the primary? Andrew Yang. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Biden either, but it seemed like a clearly better option than Donald Trump. People still hate Trump? Fuck yeah, fuck Trump. Well, that was an experience. Oh yeah, no, in the general election I voted for Biden. Not doing that would have been a waste of a vote. Only Obama gambling, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'll stay registered as a Democrat just because I don't see myself ever wanting to vote in Republican primaries, but I could see myself voting in a Democratic primary again. But I don't really identify as a Democrat. Especially because the Democratic Party in its current state is not as left as it likes to believe it is. Imagine Trump would have won. I mean, it would have sucked if he won again, but it wouldn't have been anything I didn't experience already. I'm glad I don't have to deal with 4 more years of that. But at this point, I don't think it would have fazed me. I mean, I think it's important to be informed on politics because it affects everything. Like, it affects a lot of, like, everyday life. I'm not saying you have to invest your whole life into it. Like, I'm not living and breathing politics, but I do think it's important to remain informed. Oh yeah, no, it wouldn't have.
Let's see if these tall
Yeah.
poppies know how to smoke a steak.
I'm in the same boat as you, Flat. I mean, politics extends beyond just America. And I would argue that American politics have pretty big ramifications on the world as a whole, because, you know, superpower. I mean, to an extent, it was always kind of like that, Trob. Oh, definitely extremely out of touch.
Blimey, it's not to think about that. Does this mean I have franchise potential?
Does this mean I have world record potential?
Am I a franchise? Could I open a restaurant? In an airport?
I don't think you phrased that entirely properly, Josu. For one, JFK is remembered pretty fondly. Also, he was assassinated, so saying, oh, he died pretty quick, that's comes off as a little insensitive.
Franchise. Oh, bollocks, my head hurts.
But no, as far as I know, he's pretty fondly remembered.
Wonder what the local delicacy
Oh,
is
that's
here.
just...
I hope it's
We have a
spicy
term for those
and
people,
fried.
Plaid. It's called idiots. And we don't listen to idiots. JFK would have been defined by Nam if he wasn't killed. I mean, that's one of the things that defined Johnson's presidency, if I'm not mistaken. Like, Johnson, if I'm not mistaken, is pretty well remembered too, but the one thing that people are critical of about him was his handling of the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't looked super deeply into the reputation of like a lot of most of the presidents, but I have a general idea of how most of them were received, and I remember reading up that Johnson was generally considered effective, but like was criticized for his handling of the Vietnam War. And sometimes it's always just that one thing, like take Nixon for example. Like he's, you know, if it wasn't for Watergate, he'd be considered a pretty damn good president. But then Watergate happened, and ooh. Yeah, exactly, Pi. Like that's just people who are idiots. You got it, man.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, I get you, Joseph. Like I can tell that English is not your first language. That's why I like didn't blow up at you the same way I blew up like gorillas a few days ago, because in the case of like when I blew up at gorillas, it was absolutely a case of
Spicy fried
them
mystery food.
understanding that I was telling them to stop and then continuing. Yeah, that's fair, Spyro fan. Although I will say, Lincoln having the whole leading the country through the Civil War is a pretty big boon regardless. I flood the movement there. I mean, even the top presidents don't have like spotless records, except for like, I don't know. Is there anything about Lincoln that people are even critical about? I knew that was fucking possible. Yo, Lars. Thanks for the good luck. Also welcome. I'm done. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a... I mean, Washington is also considered one of the top presidents. But again, you know, existed in a time where slavery was a thing and the norm. And then again, like, Lincoln existed in a time where racism was a thing and the norm, and I mean, that's still kind of how it is today, but different topic entirely. Like, no president is perfect. No leader is ever, like, perfect. Like, even FDR has dirt on his record. Like when, like with Obama, the most common thing I hear is the drone strikes and shit. And like, yeah, that's like, I don't agree with that. Like when I learned about it, I'm just like, yeah, it's not really a good thing. But like, I see some people use that as a reason to say like Obama's like the worst president or like one of the worst presidents ever, and I'm just like, I don't know. I still like him overall. Ooh, I got really close to that. Who do I think was the best president as a leader, in my opinion? I don't think I'm really the right person to make that call, but if I had to pick, I'd probably say Lincoln. Like, he did lead the country in the Civil War.
Me!
You don't really like any politician's period. I mean, that's fair. It pays well to be cautious about politicians. I mean, Lincoln's a consensus pick, but again, he's got leading us through the Civil War on his resume. Pretty good consensus pick.
Identical in appearance.
Bush Jr. is not particularly well liked. Let's just throw that out there.
A bona fide 10.
I mean, all these things have nothing to do with, like, the president as people. I don't think I dislike any of the presidents personally, except for probably Trump. But, like, as far as, like, politicians and, like, policies go, okay, I know I can get out of that. Hold up. Oh! Oh, I'm a fucking cheater. Holy shit. I shouldn't even go for that mask. I never explained why I hated Trump. I couldn't go into that. I couldn't give you all the reasons in time. I'm sure plenty of people in the chat could probably explain it better than I could while I'm doing a run, and I'll probably just agree with them. Trump was scared on the Obama? No. Huge disagree on that.
Listen to me. Listen to me. Rude.
I mean, Trump supporters are a cult. That's just how it is. Trump may be the worst president in U.S. history. Yet, honestly, like, I don't even disagree with that. And James Buchanan's in that contest, so that's really saying something. You're not wrong, Darth. He's a child. He behaves like a child. That's one of the core issues, but even like policy-wise, a lot of the things he did, quite vile. Some people were really reluctant to put Trump up. Yeah, like that. I'm just like, how can you be worse than starting the Civil War? And then I was thinking about trying to start another one. Alright, I still got a minute and a half to save here. The time warp is viable in that level, but I'm running at uncapped FPS, and time warp doesn't work at that frame rate. Time warp is stronger at higher or at lower frame rates, and when you get past like a certain point, it just stops working entirely. And I'm running at a frame rate where it doesn't work.
Bandicoot is strong, clever, and above all, loyal.
I mean, that's not the only reason he's arrogant, but yes. He is not worse than Trump, Joseph. There's a literal recording of Trump saying he would grab a woman by the pussy. And he has had allegations, many of them, against him. Yo, what's up, Clock? Like, I'm not gonna defend the things that Biden has done, but let's not pretend that he's worse than Trump. What the fuck do you want to do? Politics! So in ACG, the most optimized route is to get every perfect... Actually, it's not. There are a couple of death abuses in the run that are useful. Death abusing is useful in off balance, run it by you, fossil fueled. I think there's a handful of other levels. Oh, that'll do it. Yep, that sucks. I have not failed that at all recently. Alright, I might not be saving time in this level, but can still PB.
Let's go!
Maybe not. You know, I was waiting for the day that Toxic Tunnels went this poorly. I ate my fucking double jump there. Yeah. It's not for skipping portions of the level. Any death abuse I do is usually for cycles. Like the off-balance one is for cycles, because waiting on the cycle is really slow. For Fossil Field, it's for cycles. The Run It By You one is because it's faster to grab the hidden gem in Death Abuse back to the checkpoint ahead of it than it is to like grab the gem and then walk backwards. And again, Josu, I don't condone that, but it's not worse than anything Trump's done. Trump has literally sexually assaulted women. Like, I don't know what you want me to tell you. Like, he has had several sexual assault allegations against him. There is a literal recording of him telling them that he grabs women by their vagina. Like, what? Quite literally the definition of sexual assault. Oh yeah, he did also do that, Taro. Yeah, it's a locker room. I don't know what fucking locker room he was in. Yeah, like, I'm not defending the things Biden did, but I'm not going to pretend he's just as bad or worse than Trump. He's definitely not worse. By he, do you mean Trump or Biden? Because I think the person who deserved to lose the election was the person who lost the election. And I would have said the same thing, even if Trump won, because the election was fair. Oh yeah, no, I'm in that boat, Darth Theory. I was raised Catholic. So, yeah, I know the feeling. I know plenty of people who know the feeling. Like, I was raised Catholic, but the way I was raised Catholic was to, like, cult-like levels. At least from one of my parents, not really both of them, just one of them. And I'm very much not religious because of it. But again, like, I'm not gonna get into a discussion about religion because that is I feel like religion is way more touchy than politics, and I'm not gonna stir that flame. I will take what I can get. I mean, I get you, Josu, but there's way more reasons he deserved to lose than that. But yeah, no, I know what you mean. Maybe I should make a rules command. Never thought about that. God. I might still be able to save time in the level, but PB's getting really tight. Yeah, like, I don't think anybody on, like, the left would have been like, oh, it was rigged. Considering the amount of measures that were taken to be like, it wasn't rigged. I even, like, I knew people who were like, oh, there's no way Trump will win this one. I'm just like, I don't know, dude. He's got a pretty rabid and loyal fan base. They're like, oh, if he wins, it's rigged. I'm just like, I don't think it is. I'm disappointed that people actually... I am disappointed, but not surprised. You know what's up, tacos? Oh yeah, tacos, for the Calithon run, Potty said he would take Damo's spot on commentary, so it should be the three of us. Is it on? It's the last run of the event, so it's Sunday night into Monday. It's like literally just like midnight, like 11:54 p.m. on Sunday. So roughly close to my actual stream time.
What must I do to prove myself? Mother's name, Sheriff. Childhood pet, Roth with googly eyes.
If you type !Calithon, you'll find a link to the schedule. Oh, we are not. We are not saving time in this level. We might not lose a significant amount of time, but we're not saving anything. That death in the red jump path hurt. I think that's the first time I've died in the red jump path. No, that's not the first time I've died in the red jump path in a run. It's the second time. It's the first time I've died at that specific part, but I have died in the red jump path before. Be 8 p.m. your time then. Be closer to 9. We're 3 hours apart. So like 11:54 p.m. so 9:54 p.m. for you. Ugh. It can still PB. I mean, that's the other thing, Josu, is that like they try, like, his opponents try to play up Biden as if he was like this far left, like, socialist communist demon. Biden is super center.
You'll never find me, Neo-Cortex. This castle is a maze. I alone know all of its...
He's just left by American standards because in America, leaning right means you're a literal fucking Nazi. Not everybody that leans right, but like a lot. Get that out of the way. I'm not generalizing to that degree. But there are like literal like Nazis that associate with the Republican Party, so like take of that as you will. Biden's the most centered Democrat you've ever seen. That is in fact true. It's the most centered one I've ever seen too. Yeah, I'm like not even exaggerating, like literally like hate it. You'd think that, Darth Theory, but like when I think back on the way I learned things about history, it was always phrased in a way where it was just like, oh, well, this is a problem of the past and it doesn't exist now. Like, the way we learned about the civil rights movement was in a way where it acted like, oh, well, you know, like, some people said things, they marched, someone got shot, and then racism was beaten forever, and racism no longer existed. That is how we learned about the civil rights movement, at least for me.
Oh my, sounds like the doorbell. I'd better go see who it is.
So, at least in my case, we were taught to believe that these problems didn't exist anymore, and therefore they could not possibly happen again, therefore they're happening again. Because, you know, those who don't learn from history are doomed to repeat it. I mean, there's definitely bad on both sides. It's just that in the case of the current climate of America, it feels like there's a lot of bad on one side more than the other. It shouldn't be the case, but it's where we are.
I'm not a doppelganger. No, forget it. There, that'll shut me up.
Yeah, I love you too, game. I like the part where I pressed triangle and didn't spin. The right had to rally behind Trump to stay on brand. Yeah, and they're a bunch of fucking cowards for doing it. They chose party lines over actual morality and ethics. And that's cowardly. I'm in the same boat, Darth Theory, because I'm also Asian American, which is why the fact that I'm closing Calithon means so much to me, because it's a marathon supporting Stop AAPI Hate. Like, it means the fucking world to me that I'm closing that marathon.
I won't let me fail. I mean, fail differently. I mean, oh, crash!
It's right in front of you, Cortex. Come on. Ah, the bat that never works. Yo, you can just end the sentence there, Taro. Why is that bad? Yeah, that shit sucks, Darther. I've never had to deal with it, thankfully. But that's also because, like, I don't really do much. But, like, yeah, no, it's vile. And it hurts. Like, I have friends who are legitimately scared for their family because of all the fucking AAPI hate. Thank you, Josu. Also, no, focusing on chat and the run at the same time is extremely
Way for me to
difficult.
reason with me.
So if I'm missing anything, that is why.
Why can't I be more reasonable like I am?
Dude, this time trial is fucking brutal as shit. I am Filipino. I'm half Filipino.
Quit struggling. Don't make me. Help! Anyone! We have an evil doppelganger situation.
I'm honestly impressed you guessed that because I have a very American face because my dad was American, so a lot of people can't even tell that I'm Asian.
There. That'll shut me up.
I would like to stop dropping a spin there. Dev time trials ranked by atrocity. I didn't do any of them intentionally, so I couldn't tell you. Plat time trials ranked by atrocity. This is probably number 2 behind fucking Rock Blocked. Rock Blocked is a fucking war crime, dude. You would have guessed Arabian. A lot of people would guess that I'm Hispanic. I also have like a much paler complexion than I used to because I stay indoors a lot more than I did when I was like younger. Can I clutch out the 257 though?
Did you jump
Probably
off the
not. This is probably a really low 258.
Stop that. Assistant, help! Blast it! Just relax. And
My favorite
accept
Filipino dish.
non-existence.
Ooh, that's hard. That is hard. I don't even know.
Shoot-o-matic! Assistant, help!
Adobo is a pretty good go-to. But I don't know if it's my
Time
favorite.
out, time out!
Lumpia is also a pretty good go-to.
Fire laser! Fire!
Like, you cannot go wrong with Lumpia. Before Taro still doesn't look. Nah, this isn't all timelines.
I can smell your fleas boiling. Careful, I might slip. Yes, your whole world is upside down. Confused?
Trying to get sub 4.
Disoriented?
I mean, that's fair.
See your tiny brain cells frying themselves.
Like, I think it shows just how much practice I put into the run compared to, like, a lot of other people. It's not me, like, trying to, like, stroke my own dick, but it's kind of just, like, it's evident that I've put a lot of time into the category.
Assistant, go!
Oh, dude, yeah, no, Longanisa has to be my favorite. I fucking love Longanisa.
Think back. Slowly.
Yeah, it's a really long category. It's a huge time commitment every time I do a run, but I enjoy it, so.
Before Cortex, blast it!
There it is.
Assistant, help! Rude.
God, Longanisa. I haven't had Longanisa in so
I'm
long.
bored of your shenanigans.
Ponset is also good.
Assistant, go!
That's how it's done.
Flat. Okay. You got it, man. Fucking 258 flat. I'll accept it.